When Malcolm came into the Nation of Islam, you could put all of the followers in a station wagon and still have some room left. But Malcolm came in there and went to work. As you know, the Nation of Islam was never supposed to grow in the manner that it did. But Malcolm taking it from the back alleys and brought it into the universities throughout this country.
In June of 1964, Malcolm made an attempt to stop the escalating war between himself and Elijah Muhammad's Fruit of Islam by sending Elijah a brilliant and penetrating letter. The letter pointed out the Nation of Islam's contradictions and exposed Elijah's practice of inciting Muslims to violence. Mr. Elijah Muhammad, despite the increasing acts of violence against fellow Afro-Americans instigated by the Fruit of Islam recently in Boston, New York, and Philadelphia, you have tried to give the public the impression that you are aloof to what is going on. But as the leader of the Fruit of Islam, your calculated silence will not enable you to escape the full blame for the explosive situation that is developing. Students of the Black Muslim movement know that no member of the Fruit of Islam will ever initiate an act of violence unless the order is first given by you. Since you didn't open your mouth and give the word to fight back when your faithful Muslim followers were brutally shot and beaten by white racists in Los Angeles, California, Rochester, New York, Monroe, Louisiana, and elsewhere, how can you justify now giving the word for your followers to declare war on each other simply because some refuse to follow you any longer? No matter how much you stay in the background and stir others up to do your murderous dirty work, any bloodshed committed by Muslim against Muslim will compel the writers of history to declare you guilty not only of adultery and deceit, but also of murder. When Elijah Muhammad and his ministers read the letter, they were furious. Instead of quelling the situation, which Malcolm hoped the letter would do, the war against him stepped up to an all-new level.
Who is the father of all of these various children whom you have enumerated?
The first one to tell me who the father was Wallace Muhammad, and he told me that the father was Elijah Muhammad himself.
The most tragic thing is that the FBI, the CIA, government, people make a lot, in their efforts to try to exonerate the Nation of Islam. They make a big thing out of Malcolm being denied entry to France approximately 2 weeks before his assassination, and Malcolm himself said something to the effect of, the nation doesn't have that type of power. So a lot of people who want to exonerate the nation from the role that they played in his assassination, they seize upon that. And they seize upon Malcolm's own words, such as, they don't have that type of power, in their effort to try to pin this on the government. But the fact remains, the government, when they, who thoroughly infiltrated the nation, who thoroughly bugged the nation's conversations, they realized that there was a whole lot of dissension and hatred for Malcolm inside of the nation, even before the remarks he made about the Kennedy assassination that eventually led up to him being suspended. There were high-ranking officials in the Nation of Islam. Some of them family members, some of them, that just had power that they wanted to, be able to exercise without any opposition, who absolutely hated Malcolm, and what he was striving to, bring to the organization. So the government didn't have to kill Malcolm, just like the government didn't have to kill Dr. King. Just like they didn't have to kill influential members of the Black Panther Party. There was, just like they didn't have to actually get rid of themselves Marcus Garvey. There were Black people who were hating of self, who were jealous of Malcolm's influence, who would do the job for them, you know? And that's what's most tragic about this whole thing. You know, that we could not find a way to close ranks so tight amongst ourselves that the enemy couldn't wedge his way in between us and do us the harm that he has, you know, done us over the years.